At Room to Room, there's no need to wait. Black Friday deals are going on now.
Dual power sofa only $8.99, plus Lazy Boy recliner starting at only $3.99.
Room to Room Tupelo, where we know there's no place like your home.
When choosing a dentist for our family, Tupelo Smiles was the answer for us. They greet us with warm smiles right when we walk in the door, and they make us feel so welcome. We love Tupelo Smiles.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Another calm and cool night across North Mississippi as we get into our, end of Monday, start of Tuesday. Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe, and even though it's calm, we still have a lot to talk about, whether that monitor wants to let us or not. Near record warmth is on the horizon. That's going to be happening heading into our Tuesday afternoon, as well as for our Wednesday afternoon. We'll break down what that record is and how close we are coming up here at the 10 o'clock broadcast here from the Room to Room Weather Center. We're also going to be talking about rain chances increasing by Friday. Could even see a little bit of that isolated development well ahead of Friday. We'll track that in just a moment. And that Leonid Meteor Shower, what are those viewing conditions? We'll take a look at that coming up in a few moments. But it's an action-packed night for sure, whether it's clouds in the sky or if it's a meteor in the sky. We want to know what that viewing pleasure is like, and we'll look at that in just a moment. The first 12, mostly clear conditions, 55 degrees, but that cloud cover increasing overnight. So really now is the best time frame to go view a few of those meteors if you are able to view it. 56 degrees by 2 and falling into the mid-50s for the start of our Tuesday. You may notice behind me rain chances. They are in the forecast for tomorrow morning, but very limited, so not expecting a lot of widespread showers. If anything, it's a sprinkle here, a sprinkle there, but not a sprinkle everywhere. 57 degrees there in Starkville. Students out and about this evening, enjoying a great time on campus. I see Blackjack there in the background, flowing smoothly, and just a great shot of the campus of Mississippi State. 57 degrees, dew point still at 39, so it's still a very dry atmosphere. That's going to be one of the limiting factors when it comes to our rain chances moving forward. Oxford, our other North Mississippi college town, 61 degrees, and the Rebels not as action-packed. Of course, this is over the campus of Ole Miss, otherwise I'm sure it would look differently, but dry conditions up there as well. Actually even drier with 32 degrees as that dew point up there. Winds coming out of the southeast at about 9 miles an hour, and that's really supplying some of those drier conditions. We need that to be directly south in order to supply a little bit more of that moisture. West Point flowing smoothly along Highway 45, 53 degrees, dew point at 40. And you might notice, big reason why dew point's a little bit lower, it's a calmer wind, so that moisture is able to settle just a bit more than for locations like Oxford that we tracked a moment ago. So I've been mentioning moisture all through the 10 o'clock broadcast already, and why that matters. Well, we did have a few showers work their way through the region earlier on today. That was during the 5 and 6 o'clock broadcast where we tracked those out as it moved through Tate County and Marshall County. But now as we enter that 10 o'clock hour, all of these have faded away, and we're left with clear air mode, which basically means we're not tracking anything on radar, going to keep those calm and clear conditions overnight. And as we look on our expanded front, of course, we're not really tracking much of anything either. It's just going to be a few of those light showers out there towards the Kentucky and Tennessee area, but that's really that extent of where that moisture sits. Rainfall totals not overly high either, but hey, it was enough for a few locations, around a couple hundredths of an inch out there towards, I believe that's close to Sunflower County, and then up there towards Panola County, all across DeSoto County with a few hundredths here and there. But our main rainfall outputs were actually over there towards eastern and northeastern Arkansas, and even those not incredibly impressive in regards to coverage, but at least for a few locations getting some much needed rainfall. So expanding this out once again, we can get a look at what's been happening, and the main thing we've been watching is this warm sector moving into our area. That's allowing that wind to shift to more of a directly southerly direction, so that moisture is going to build even more. But a lot of that action, luckily for us, is staying in Illinois, it's staying in Iowa, it's staying in Minnesota and South Dakota. That low wrapping around just a bit, but that cold front, that's going to be our driver for a few showers moving into the next couple of days. But even then, with our moisture not being overly high, saturation not overly high, it's going to be a limiting factor in regards to how much rainfall we will see, at least for the next 48 hours. Futurecast, walking through that forecast, of course, you see this warm front lifting across the region. Those winds coming directly out of the south, 10, 15, potentially even 20 mile an hour gusts in that forecast. That's going to really increase as we get towards our Tuesday afternoon. But back behind the cold front, you can definitely see a few storms starting to ramp up just a bit. Luckily, staying further north than where we are over there, just around the eastern Missouri, southwestern Illinois area. Wouldn't be surprised if a few of these got on the stronger side, but those, of course, extending in that east-northeast direction. Could build a little bit more south there towards the southwestern tip of Kentucky, but nowhere close to us here in North Mississippi. Whenever we're talking about distance closest to our area, we're still talking 150 miles. So not overly concerned with those chances. Even if it were to build a little bit more south, we don't really expect it to bring any of that unstable air, any of those unstable storms as far south as North Mississippi. So staying on the calmer side down here doesn't mean we can't see rainfall. As you see it building just a little bit more towards the south, it could reach parts of DeSoto County there by the mid-afternoon time frame on our Tuesday, but even those chances not exactly overly high. We only have about 10% coverage because it's building south into a very dry environment. Again, setup not ideal, so that's why we have our chances very limited. 10, maybe 20% max, but 20% might even be on the higher side. 78 degrees by noon, jumping to 80 degrees by 3 o'clock on our Tuesday. Is it warm enough for you? Because I was ready for fall. I don't know why we're trending backwards into late summer, but who knows? Weather pattern in Mississippi always doing its own thing, so we just have to buckle up and enjoy the ride. And speaking of, coming up in the next 60, our ride at the 10 o'clock broadcast does continue, talking more details on the Leonid Meteor Shower as well as those limited rain chances moving forward. All of that coming up here in the Room to Room Weather Center for Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete. But it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
Welcome back here to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. Just tracking things behind the scenes. We do have some fantastic pictures across the area. This, a look from Harley and Saltillo, a unique cloud setup. This is why I was talking earlier on about how it looked pretty cloudy. Well, because over where I live, over there in Saltillo, you do have this blanket of cloud cover off there in the distance. That's going to be some stratus cloud cover. But as we look at the rest of that setup, we're primarily tracking altostratus clouds, those broken up clouds way high up in the sky, but still acting like a blanket way high up there. That's really what a large majority of us saw if it wasn't clear skies. So still most part clear, but a great shot there from weather watcher Harley in Saltillo. Anna in Guntown, not too far away, got that same shot of that blanket. Very unique cloud structure right there, but a beautiful sight nonetheless, getting those blue skies in the area. Nothing of concern, just a very unique structure. Hopefully you guys got to go out and see that because it definitely caught my attention, and I look at the clouds every single day. So a fun time. Weather watcher Anna, big thank you over there in Guntown for keeping us informed on what's happening. Batesville, 63 degrees right now with those dew points currently at 34. Winds a little bit more breezy, 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the southeast, giving us a little bit more of that moisture, but a beautiful shot there in Panola County. As we look over in Columbus, Lowndes County, flowing smoothly along Highway 82. A few travelers out there, curious if they're heading over to Starkville. A few travelers maybe wanting a longer weekend this past weekend and finally heading over to Mississippi State. Hey, guilty as charged. Had a few weekends like that myself where I wanted to spend a little bit more time in Birmingham. So just missed those Monday classes and no complaints here. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, as you can see, clear across the area. Once again, no rainfall to track, even with those little bit of showers that we had over there towards Memphis earlier on. I mean, even those have since cleared on out. So we're left with this drier setup, but one that's being dominated by this warm sector that, of course, Emphasis on warm will warm us up over the next several days due to that southerly wind really kicking in that warmer air. A lot of the action still remaining up north there towards Illinois. No severe weather as of right now, but definitely the potential is there, but that's primarily up there towards the Ohio Valley, not here in North Mississippi. Our energy is basically little to none, and we're not complaining about that. Day planner for tonight, or should I say night planner at this point, 55 degrees at midnight, falling off to 54 for the start of our Tuesday. 54 degrees in November, especially mid to late November, is not a forecast you need to shrug at. That is definitely one that we need to be grateful for because we're not shivering heading out the door. Partly cloudy conditions really helping blanket the sky, trap some of that heat from escaping, and that's keeping temperatures a little bit on the warmer side. But those breezy conditions really ramping up to, I think it's worth calling gusty conditions by the afternoon. We'll look at that here in just a moment. So Tuesday night, you can see calm, most part dry across the area with a few clouds popping up. That little bit of moisture we did have overnight on some of our earlier model runs have since dissipated out. Agree with that. It was just a little bit too dry of a forecast. Moisture has not resustained itself here in North Mississippi. So I do agree that we're going to stay dry overnight. Not really anything of concern for our forecast. Low temperatures for our Tuesday though. Agree with this as well. Going to be a mild start to the day with 54 in Tupelo, 53 Columbus, 54 Eupora, and 60s out there towards Greenwood, 61 Clarksdale, and 62 around Cleveland. So your school day forecast, it will be a mild start, but we are still in November. 57 degrees towards drop-off is still enough to have a jacket on standby, just something to keep you warm for that morning commute. But by the time we get towards the afternoon, see how things ramp up. 80 degrees towards that final bell. Yeah, shorts and a t-shirt. That's the type of weather that will be agreeable with this forecast. Just unbelievable we're getting this warm of a forecast whenever we're talking about that mid to late November time frame. Futurecast for your Tuesday morning. Watch how things really ramp up on those winds coming out of the south. Kind of a little bit hard to tell. I can zoom things out here to give you a better visual. But basically, they'll be coming out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, really seeing that around the Canton area and Jackson. Those winds are making it up here to North Mississippi, just cloud cover blocking it a little bit, preventing our view on those arrows indicating the wind, of course. But as we look at that forecast, this is 9 a.m. on our Tuesday. You do see a little bit of moisture moving back into the forecast. This band of, I want to say showers, but showers might even be overdoing it. Band of sprinkles pushing through the region. That's what we're going to refer to it as tonight. That's going to work its way through Marshall County on there towards Lafayette County. And basically this whole line extending all the way into Greenville, pushing through North Mississippi. And that's really what's going to drive our rain chances moving into that lunchtime hour. Beyond that point, dissipates out and we'll be dry for any of those afternoon activities across North Mississippi. No exceptions within that. And as this cold front moves closer to our area, not really going to have any moisture to lift to produce any showers or storms. So this is going to be, for the most part, a dry cold front working its way through the region as that low pressure center drives that forecast on through. High temperatures though, record high temperature for your Tuesday for November, got to look at the date again, November 18th. 81 degrees set twice, once in 1930 and the other in 2016. Well, we're going to be throwing it back as we get into our forecast tomorrow because it'll feel like 1930. Here in 2025, 79 degrees in Tupelo, 81 in Houston, 80 there towards Water Valley. I don't think we set the record, but I think we could tie some records in a few locations. But I think that we're just around that record high, but on the lower side, so I don't think we're going to set anything new tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get into our Futurecast for Tuesday night. This is where I believe some showers and some thunderstorms do move back into the forecast. Expanding things out right here, you can basically see that line that develops from Wynne, Arkansas, all the way over there towards Little Rock and just extending all the way up there towards Dyersburg. That, of course, driving into North Mississippi. And you do see a few of those reds and yellows popping up. Those more indicative of some lift in those storms, meaning that we do get some heavier rainfall and the potential for a few rumbles of thunder as well. Do we see anything severe? No. No, this is not going to be a severe weather setup, but the potential for a few decent rainfall outputs in our forecast Wednesday night or Tuesday night, getting into our Wednesday morning, those becoming weaker as we get further into the night because temperatures are cooling off. You lack that little bit of energy we do have, and then that basically makes everything collapse in on itself. So this cold front will continue to drive the moisture through the area, but not going to have anything too significant attached to it once we get into that Wednesday morning commute. As we get into our Wednesday though, cold front not really shifting too much of anything. Moisture still back behind it, keeping that cloud cover around. So we are going to be seeing partly cloudy to mostly cloudy conditions for the extent of our Wednesday morning and pushing more into our Wednesday afternoon. Copy and paste. It's going to be more of the same in that forecast, and that'll be for any Wednesday evening plans. It's going to be dry, but our skies will just be limited in cover and see not that much sunshine, unfortunately. High temperatures by Wednesday, I think we could see some record highs as we get into our Wednesday afternoon. 82 degrees is the record set in 1942, and that 3-year-old record could be tied, if not broken, with 81 in Tupelo expected on that forecast, 82 in Houston, 82 Eupora, 83 Belzona and Greenwood. The potential to break some records is definitely a realistic possibility and one that has been set since 1942. Unbelievable that could be broken as we get into our forecast by Wednesday. The Leonid Meteor Shower, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Whenever it comes to these meteor showers, I know I always just very badly mess up these names, so I'm doing the best I can. Give me grace. But what we're going to expect tonight is, that, of course, the shower goes from November 3rd to December 2nd, but that peak is November 16th through 17th. Midnight to dawn will be the best time to view, and that best will be right before that pre-dawn hour. Make sure to go out with about 10 minutes or 15 minutes to let your eyes adjust. Don't look at your cellular device for a little bit. I realize that was not on camera at all. Don't look at that for a little bit and let your eyes adjust, and you might see a few meteors up there in the sky. Decent output, anywhere from 15 all the way up to 100 meters an hour where it peaks, and that of course is dealing with some partly cloudy conditions, so there will be some breaks. Not the best viewing, but at least it's not mostly cloudy skies. At least it's not rainfall. I mean, life could be worse. Let's think of this as a glass half full type forecast. 54 degrees overnight is not bad either, so we won't be shivering trying to look at this. Still going to be a great outlook for our evening tonight. 79 degrees for our Tuesday afternoon, 81 by Wednesday. Finally falling off as moisture does return to the forecast. 79 by Thursday and 75 there by Friday. As we head into the start of our weekend, some of those rain chances do linger, but then we'll experience some drier conditions, at least for a brief moment, before rain chances return into our Thanksgiving week. I do want to say that 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, realistic possibility that does increase over the coming days, but it's also just as realistic of a possibility that could decrease over the next few days. This is one where models are still not lining up, not exactly agreeing with each other, and that's always a reassuring thing because it means that it's not really getting its minds in the same format, and they can't really agree on that forecast. So timing still up in the air, one that we're watching behind the scenes, as well as impacts. We know there's going to be some thunderstorms, but how strong, still a question. But as of what we've seen on models behind the scenes, that energy has been downtrending a good bit over the past few model runs, and we'll take a look at that in more detail Tuesday evening, breaking down that forecast here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Something else we can look forward to. 75 degrees there by Friday. Once that frontal passage clears, 66 will be our high temperature by Sunday. Back into the 40s for low temperatures. So if you want more of that fall-like air, or fall air at this point, it shouldn't be fall-like, it should be fall. We are in fall. We need it to feel like fall. Well, it will finally be back heading into our Thanksgiving week. So maybe those Thanksgiving pictures won't be in shorts and a t-shirt. Maybe it'll actually be that fall type dress stuff. So should look good, but forecast at least looking slightly better, but we definitely need to keep our eyes on Friday for sure. Okay, let's end the night with some good news, something we shared at 6 o'clock, and hey, I thought might as well share it again. It's going to be a good time. I see some folks down in chat saying congratulations once again. So we just appreciate that so much, just with you guys' support and joining us at 6 o'clock for the big announcement. If you missed it, here's what folks got to see.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a boy! Woo!
So yes, baby Maynor is a baby boy. We're so excited to welcome him into the world. I saw some folks asking the due date. It is expected to be anywhere from May 2026, but could be earlier. So we're, of course, just excited to bring him into this world, and his name will be Cruz Maynor. Excited to see him in 2026. Mama doing a great job. Say your prayers for her, and of course, just say your prayers for Cruz as he continues to get ready to come here on this earth and say hello to everybody. And of course, I'll be introducing him to you guys as soon as I can, but it's going to be a good time. Excited for this next step of life. and couldn't be more grateful to bring him into such a great part of the world here in North Mississippi to such a great family. So thank you guys so much again, our Mississippi Live Weather family. Hey, we hold strong together, support each other, and you guys have overwhelmed us with support in the best way possible, and we are so grateful for every single bit of it. All right, let's get you guys to bed. It's late, 10:19 this evening. Go ahead and get that free app to alert you if rainfall or storms are moving through your area, especially towards tomorrow night, as we are tracking some showers and thunderstorms in that forecast. Of course, we will be talking in more detail about that with meteorologist Maggie McCauley at 6:37 and 7:30, and then we'll have our next broadcast at 5, 6, and 10 on our Tuesday evening. Cannot wait to see you guys there. I see some folks asking about or talking about the Cowboys game. Yes, congratulations to all those Cowboys fans. Dak Prescott did do an amazing job taking down the Raiders. So shout out to you guys. Hope you guys have a great night. Thank you guys once again for all the congratulations. You guys are too kind, and we could not be more excited or more grateful for everything that you guys have done for us throughout this process. So have a great night, and we will see you bright and early with a cup of coffee in hand at 6:30 with meteorologist Maggie McCauley.